I'm sitting right here in my kitchen, keeping these papers that changed the entirety. The documents for the residence. The residence my son offered with my lifestyle savings. My hands are trembling, not from anger, however, from a sadness so deep it hurts to breathe. I have just found out something I never should have imagined. My bedroom door is ajar, and I'm able to hear every phrase of the smartphone name is having together with his wife. His voice is complete of exhilaration, planning their destiny. Our destiny. Or as an alternative, their destiny. Yeah, infant. The whole thing's ready. The papers got here in today. The house is officially ours. I listen him chuckle. That equals snicker that used to fill me with such joy while he become a boy. Your mama goes to be so glad to live with us. Ultimately, Miss will have her personal room with a view of the lawn, just like she always desired. My heart stops. Miss, his mother in regulations, mom, goes to stay within the residence I paid for. The house in which I notion I would have my location, my space, my family. In me, I whisper out loud, knowing he cannot pay attention me. I retain to pay attention. Nah, child. We already pointed out this. My mom's high quality in her rental. Except you know the way she is. She always unearths something to fuss about. It's higher this manner. Extra peaceful for all and sundry. Us the youngsters and your mom. A actual circle of relatives. A real family. The words stab my chest like ice-cold needles. I who sacrificed my complete lifestyle's financial savings, who offered my mom's jewelry, who mortgaged my economic peace of mind. So he should have this residence. I am not a part of their actual circle of relatives. I near my eyes and memories crash over me like waves. It was 6 months in the past when came to my area with that unhappy domestic dog canine face he continually puts on whilst he wishes something. He sat exactly wherein his phone is now at this kitchen table and defined his dream. Mama, I found the right house. It is everything and I ever dreamed of. 3 bedrooms, a yard for the youngsters in a pleasing neighborhood. But I need your assist. I simply want $20,000 for the down charge. I promise I will pay you again in 2 years, Mama. And of direction, you will usually have an area with us. You will always have a place with us. The ones have been his precise phrases. I recollect them because I wrote them down that night in my journal. I used to be so excited I could not sleep. Eventually, after years of feeling like a vacationer in my son's existence, I'd have a place, a domestic where I could develop old, surrounded by way of the laughter of my circle of relatives' dinners and heat holiday gatherings. Baby, did you tell your mom about the plans yet? His voice cuts through the like a knife. What plans, baby? The plans. That she's no longer shifting in with us. That the house is just for the 3 people, adults and the children. You recognize my mother needs her peace. And we already pointed out how your mom may be hard to stay with. Hard to live with. I who lived 69 years without bothering a soul, who raised this man on my own after his father left us, who worked double shifts to pay for university, who by no means asked for something and go back. I'm hard to live with. No, I have not told her but says. I figured we ought to communicate about it after the flow. You know the way she gets when things alternate. You know how she receives. They may be talking about me as though I am a difficult baby, no longer the woman who's giving them the opportunity to have this residence. I rise up from my chair in silence and stroll to the window. Out of doors, it's raining and the drops slide down the glass just like the tears. I won't let myself cry. 25 years operating as a secretary at that drab office. 25 years saving every dollar, denying myself small luxuries, shopping for garments on sale, packing my lunch. Also, I might have something to leave my son to have safety in my old age, so I wouldn't be a burden. And now it seems I am a burden besides. Baby, I assume we want to begin identifying how we are going to inform her. Perhaps we ought to propose she discover a smaller condominium, something extra in line with her wishes. You know, something extra affordable. His voice sounds so herbal, so realistic, as if they're just discussing what to have for dinner. Something greater affordable. Proper. Now that they have my $20,000, now that they have gotten what they wanted, it is time for me to locate something extra affordable, something extra in keeping with my wishes. As if my needs don't include the love and organization of my best circle of relatives. The smartphone falls silent, and that eye listens footsteps coming in the direction of the kitchen. I quick sit down and fake to be searching at the electric invoice as though I heard nothing. As if my international hadn't simply crumbled within the remaining 10 minutes. Hey mama. How you doing? His voice is normal, affectionate, as if he hadn't just completed making plans to exclude me from the existence I helped pay for. I am proper, son. Are the papers for the residence ready? Yeah, perfect. Everything's in order. We're going to be capable of flow in quickly and start a brand new chapter. A brand new bankruptcy for him, for Passover, and for his kids. A new bankruptcy wherein I do not exist. It's appropriate, son, I say. My voice calm and managed. I'm happy for you. He smiles and leans in to kiss my forehead, similar to he constantly does. That gesture that after filled me with such tenderness now appears like a mockery, like the kiss of Judas. Thank you for the whole lot, mama. You realize this would not have been feasible without you. Without me. But also without me within the destiny. How ironic. Whilst he leaves, I am by myself once more with these papers in my fingers. The documents certify that my son now has a $100,000 house, of which $20,000 came from my life financial savings. A house in which his mom-in-law could have the room with the garden view that I had dreamed of for myself. I cautiously fold the papers and place them inside the kitchen drawer. The identical drawer where I maintain payments, clinical prescriptions, and now it seems my lost dignity. However, something is changing inside me. Something cold and clear, like the water running down the window. For the primary time in years, I don't feel like crying. I feel like appearing. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay awake looking at the ceiling, considering all of the instances I should have visible the signs and symptoms. All of the instances and handled me like I used to be invisible, but I justified it by means of telling myself they were simply busy with their lives. All the instances they borrowed money, and by no means paid an unmarried dollar again. However, I referred to as it helping family. I get up at 5 inside the morning as standard, however this time it's now not out of habit. It is because I've activities, critical things that cannot wait. I make my espresso in silence and take a seat at the kitchen desk with my antique notebook. It is wherein I typically write down my month-to-month charges, but these days I am going to write down something one of a kind. I am going to make a list of all the money I've given during the last 5 years. Every loan, every little bit of help, each emergency that changed into and no way repaid. The list grows and grows. $2,000 for the used vehicle. $800 to repair the transmission. $10,000 for the children college uniforms and components. $700 for dentist. $3,000 to Cal credit scorecard debt. $500 here, $300 there, and now the $20,000 for the residence. The whole makes me dizzy. $48,300 in 5 years. $48,000 that I saved operating on the grounds that I was 18, refusing vacations, shopping for the cheapest brand at the grocery keep, the use of the identical purse for a decade, $48,000. What for? For obligatory Sunday visits wherein I sit in a corner even as they talk approximately their lives. For who slightly recognize me because Grandma Dollars is so boring. For being excluded from birthdays, graduations, and family dinners because we don't need to inconvenience you, Mama. We recognize you do not want to go out. I near the pocketbook and stroll to my bedroom. I open the closet and pull out the shoebox wherein I hold all my essential documents. Start certificates, my will, coverage rules, financial institution statements, the whole lot that certifies my felony and monetary existence. I wrote my will 3 years ago after I became 66. In it inherits everything. My condo, my savings, my existence coverage, even my grandmother's jewelry saved within the protection deposit field. On the financial institution. The entirety for him due to the fact he's my son, my circle of relatives, my purpose for residing. How naive I was. It's 7 inside the morning when my ear rings. It's, hi there, mamas. How you doing this morning? I'm doing excellent, son. I say, my voice sounding normal, but inside it appears like any other character is talking. You need something. Properly, yeah. And I had been final night, and we were questioning if you can help us out with a bit something. You understand, with the flow there are a few more prices we did not account for. Extra money. It is continually more money. How a great deal do you need? Simply 3000, Mama. For the movers, a few furniture. We need paint for the rooms, you understand, just to get the residence ideal for when we circulate in next week. Subsequent week. He's shifting subsequent week. And he hadn't even informed me when. He hadn't even invited me to look the house I paid for. Am I able to ask you something? Positive, Mama. Something you need. When do I get to look the residence? Silence. A silence goodbye that for a moment I think the call dropped. Well, Mama, the house is still getting some minor paintings executed. Whilst everything's equipped, we're going to take you over there to peer it. You don't need to see all of it messy, do you? And when am I going to transport in with you? Some other even longer silence. Mama, approximately that. And I have been, and we suppose maybe it might be higher so one can live on your condominium for now. You know, until we see how we adjust to the brand new house. The youngsters are going to be worried with the exchange. And is stressed together with her new job. Her new task. Yeah. I failed to let you know. She were given a role at an accounting firm. They're going to pay her actual proper. Nearly $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month. Is now making $2,000 a month, but they nevertheless want my $3,000 for the circulate. My $3,000 that I would ought to take out of my savings, which I have been reciting on with a $700 a month pension. I say once more, I need to reflect on the 3000. Consider it, Mama. You've got in no way needed to assume earlier than when I asked for assist. Is the entirety K? No, son. Not anything is K. Nothing has been K for years, however I used to be too blinded by means of love to peer it. Everything's best, son. I simply want to test my bills. I'll call you in some days. In some days. However, Mama, we need the money by means of the following day. The movers want a 50% deposit. And I'll call you in some days. I dangle up the earlier than he can respond. My hands are trembling, but no longer from worry. It's something extraordinary. It is dedication. I stroll to my antique computer, the one helped me set up 2 years ago so I would not feel so lonely, Mama. I flip it on and wait patiently for it to load. I'm now not excellent with technology, but I know the basics. I know the way to log into my online bank account. There is my financial savings. After giving him the $20,000 for the house, I have precisely two $300 left. $300 among me and total destitution. Among me and depending absolutely on a son who plans to exclude me from his lifestyles as quickly as he's settled into his new residence. I choose up my dial. The bank's range. Correct morning, countrywide financial institution. How can I help you? Correct morning. I want to talk to someone approximately my financial savings account. I want to make a few vital changes. Clearly, ma'am. Should you please provide your account number and your full name? As I provide my data, I feel something I have never felt in years. Manage. For the first time in a long time, I am the one making the choices about my money, my lifestyles, my destiny. How can we help you nowadays, Omit Jones? I want to cast off my son as a licensed beneficiary on my account. I additionally need to cancel the additional debit card. This is in his call. I understand. Is there a specific reason? Sure, there's. The motive is that I have just discovered I've been financing my personal exclusion. That each dollar I have given them has been an investment in my personal future loneliness. Personal adjustments in my own family state of affairs. Thoroughly pass over Jones. I'll process these changes without delay. Anything else I assist you to with? Sure. I want to realize about my alternatives for changing my will. The financial institution offers that provider. We have agreements with some legal professionals who specialize in property regulation. Might you be interested by having us ship you some records? Sure, please. To my registered cope with. After I hold up I experience extraordinary. As if I have taken the first step closer to something new, something I do not but fully understand, but I want to do. My smartphone rings once more. It's of direction. Mama, did we get disconnected? What befell? We failed to get disconnected, son. I instructed you I might name you in some days. But Mama, I need to in case you're going to help me with the 3,000. The movers are already pressuring me. And have you ever wondered if I wished to assist with something? What? What are you approximately, Mama? I am involved about you. Are you feeling okay? You want me to come back over there? It's not necessary, son. I simply want a while to assume. Time to suppose. Mama, I am most effective requesting $3,000. It's nothing, principal. You have continually helped me. I've constantly helped you. It truly is proper. But whilst turned into the remaining time he helped me. I'll call you whilst I've a solution. Mama, seriously, you are scaring me. You've never been like this earlier then. I have by no means been like this because I've in no way been so clear about what's been taking place. Because I've in no way felt this combination of ache and clarity, it truly is giving me the electricity to do what I need to have done years in the past. Have a great day, son. I hold up again, and this time I turn my smartphone absolutely off. I sit down in my reciting room, surrounded through the silence of my condominium. But for the first time in years, that silence doesn't harm. It is a silence complete of opportunities, of decisions ready to be made. I study my fingers. These 69-year vintage fingers which have labored so difficult, that have given so much, and that I promise myself something. They might not supply another dollar without receiving recognize in go back. Over the subsequent 3 days, my telephone won't forestall ringing. Calls me each 2 hours. Then joins in. After that even. The youngsters depart me voicemails asking why I am not answering. But I keep the off. I need silence to suppose, to devise, to honestly apprehend the situation I am in. On Wednesday morning, I determined to show the on just to test the messages. There are 27 overlooked calls and 15 textual content messages. I study them one at a time, and every message confirms that I'm making the right decision. Mama, I am involved. Please call me. 7:30 a.m. Tuesday. Dollars is really worried. Is everything okay with you? 11:15 a.m. Tuesday. Mama, the movers want the money today. I can't wait any longer. 2:45 p.m. Tuesday. In case you do not name me these days, I am coming over for your condominium. 8:20 p.m. Tuesday. Grandma, Dad says you are ill. Are you okay? My grandson, my grandson, asking approximately me because his father advised him I am ill. Because for the simplest reason for me now not right now giving him cash is that I have to be unwell. However, the message that hurts the most and on the same time gives me the most readability is the ultimate one dispatched early this morning. Mama, if this is about the house, we will talk. Maybe we can discover an answer if you want to have your area too. However, I need you to help me with the circulate first. Then we'll fix the opposite stuff. 6:30 a.m. These days. Then we'll restoration the opposite stuff. The opposite stuff is me. My vicinity in their lives, my proper to be within the house I financed, my dignity as a mom and someone. All of this is the other stuff that can be fixed later as soon as he receives what he desires. I am getting dressed cautiously, brush my hair, and put on a touch makeup. Nowadays I'm going out and I have several crucial appointments. The primary is at the bank at 10:00 within the morning. I walk the 6 blocks to the financial institution, enjoying the clean air. I hadn't realized how an awful lot I ignored strolling without a rush, without considering the consistent wishes of others, just focused by my self-thoughts and plans. At the financial institution, leave out Anderson, the same female who helped me at the greets me. She's a girl my age, fashionable and professional. Proper morning, leave out Jones. How are you feeling after the adjustments we made in your account? I'm feeling superb, thank you. I got here in today because I need to make some additional changes. Really? What can I assist you with? I need to open a brand new financial savings account absolutely separate from my modern one, and I want to switch $10,000 from my most important account to this new account. Any unique reason? Allows just say I want to have better manage of my personal. Price range. Miss Anderson nods in information. She's in all likelihood seen comparable instances earlier than older women who want to shield their financial savings from circle of relatives members who see them as an aid. An extraordinary decision, pass over Jones. This new account may have a separate debit card and statements that may be sent to a unique cope with if you desire. Yes, please. You may ship the statements to a submit workplace box. Of course, I additionally endorse you recall a certificate of deposit for a component of those budget. The hobby is better and the money might be extra comfy. I leave the bank feeling extra relaxed. $10,000 are now in an account I understand approximately. Cash that does not recognize exists. Money he can't inquire from me to borrow. Money that guarantees me a more comfy future. My second appointment is at midday at the office of the attorney the financial institution endorsed. Attorney Michael Carter has a small but tidy office and greets me with the staying power of a person who knows that for older human beings, criminal topics can be intimidating. Ms. Jones, I apprehend you need to study your current will. Yes, counselor, I need to make a few vital modifications. I give an explanation for my scenario to him, objectively without drama. I inform him approximately the $48,000, approximately the residence, about's plans to exclude me from his new life after the usage of my cash. Legal professional Carter listens without interrupting, taking occasional notes. Ms. Jones, unluckily your case is not unique. I see comparable conditions frequently. What particular changes do you want to make in your will? I want my inheritance to be divided differently. Part of it for, however, I additionally need to leave a few cash to charities, especially those that help older girls in prone situations. Do you have got any unique companies in mind? No, not yet. Should you help me studies a few options? Of course. I additionally advise we don't forget putting a few situations for your son's inheritance. What sort of situations? As an example, that he can most effective obtain his element if he fulfills sure commitments to you at the same time as you're alive. Medical care, normal visits, inclusion in important own family choices. The concept is exciting but also unhappy. Is this how own family relationships should paintings with criminal contracts that force kids to like and admire their mother and father? Let me reflect on it, counselor. Of course. Within the interim, I'll put together a draft with some basic changes. Does next week work so that you can meet again? Once I depart the legal professional's workplace, it is 2:00 within the afternoon and I am hungry. However, instead of going home to make a sandwich as I always do, I determine to do something exceptional. I stroll right into a small diner and take a seat at a desk by using the window. I hadn't eaten alone at a eating place in years. Each time I went out to devour, it was with and his own family, and I used to be continually the one who paid. Nowadays I order precisely what I am craving. Pan-seared salmon with veggies and a glass of white wine. The whole is $35. Money that earlier than might have appeared like an useless price. Nowadays it looks like an funding in my very own happiness. As I consume slowly, I watch the people passing on the road. Younger couples retaining hands, mothers pushing strollers, vintage parents walking with canes, however with a decided step. Ordinary life, ordinary humans dwelling their everyday lives. And I that I'm able to have a regular existence too. A life where my selections do not rely on the steady wishes of others. My phone vibrates. It's a textual content from Mama, I cannot take it anymore. I am coming on your apartment at 400 p.m. We need to talk. I examine the time. It is 3:15. I have 45 minutes to get domestic and put together for a conversation I recognize may be difficult, but for the primary time, I am no longer scared of it. I sense something like curiosity. I pay my invoice, depart a generous tip, and stroll out of the diner. The sun is shining, and for the first time in a long time, I sense like it is also shining on me. As I stroll domestic, I think about what I am going to mention too. I am now not going to yell at him. I'm not going to throw his errors in his vase. I am not going to make a scene. I'm really going to inform him the fact. I am going to give an explanation for that I've made decisions about my life and my cash, and that those choices are very last. I arrive at my rental at 3:50. I've 10 minutes to put together myself mentally and emotionally for what is to come back. I take a seat in my favored chair, the only with the aid of the window, and I wait, no longer with anxiety, however with the calm of someone who knows precisely what they're going to do. At 4:00, I hear footsteps within the hall. And then knocking on my door, company, insistent, impatient. The knocks of someone who's used to the door being opened immediately, to their wishes being attended to straight away. I get up slowly, easy out my skirt, and walk to the door. Before I open it, I take a deep breath and remind myself, that is my residence. That is my money. This is my existence. And for the first time in years, I'm going to behave as a result. I open the door and there's, however, he's no longer on my own, is standing behind him with an expression I realize well. The face she makes when she desires to get something, however pretends she's involved about my properly being. They each have a look at me as though I am a lost infant they've ultimately found. Mama, thank God you're okay. We were so concerned. Starts to attain for a hug, however there's something pressured in his gesture. Why were not you answering the phone? Do you know the way a good deal you distressed us? Good day, I say, and she or he simply nods. I am not a baby. You brought about me more misery within the closing 3 days than I've ever induced you. Mama, what are you speaking about? We're a family. We want to have the ability to talk about things. Talk approximately matters. You pointed out me, however now not with me. You talked about how I am tough to stay with, how you had been going to position me in an extra cheap rental, all even as the use of the money I gave you to your real circle of relatives. You talked about me like I used to be a burden. A complicated problem that needed to be controlled, now not someone. His face pales. He glances at who appears horrified. Mama, it really is no longer, this is no longer what came about. We had been simply just what? Simply planning to apply me and then toss me aside. The $20,000, the $48,300 I have given you over the last 5 years. Did you observe it turned into an infinite well? Did you suspect my love for you turned into a transaction? Something you can get totally free. Mama, please. I'm so sorry. We messed up. And I have been talking, and we've modified our minds. We want you to stay with us. We will make it work. I promise. No, you might not. I say calmly. You won't, because you only want me to live with you now that you assume you would possibly lose something. You don't need me due to the fact you adore me. You want me because you're afraid you will lose get admission to me. However, you have already lost me, son. You lost me when you decided I wasn't part of your actual own family. He begins to cry. Large heaving sobs. And attempts to consolation him. Mama, please do not say that. I'm saying it, I say firmly. And I am pronouncing something else. I am not the bank of dollars. I'm now not a monetary resource with a view to tap each time you want it. The $3,000 you need for your circulate, you can locate it some other place because you may not get a penny from me. Not now, no longer, ever again. Appears at me, his face stained with tears, and the boyish domestic dog look is gone, replaced with a look of authentic shock and harm. He had usually taken my love and my money without any consideration. And now he becomes seeing for the primary time that my nicely wasn't limitless. I want you to go away now, I say, my voice trembling barely, however protecting company. Mama, please, allows communicate, pleads. We have talked for 69 years and now I am carried out. He stands there for a second. Then he and flip and walk away. I close the door and lean in opposition to it, my legs vulnerable. I am exhausted, but I have in no way felt extra alive. I stroll over to my chair and sit down. I have been so targeted on others for so long that I did not even know what I needed for myself. I gave. And gave and gave, and I forgave you for treating me badly, and I forgave me for letting you treat me badly. So why do I still sense like there is a distance between us? Due to the fact forgiveness does not erase consequences. Because consider is constructed with movements, now not with phrases. Whilst they're long past, I stand via the window for a long term. I don't know if we'll absolutely change. I do not know if he will control to head a whole year without asking me for money. I do not know if we're going to ever be able to construct a real relationship. But I do realize one aspect. I am now not afraid to be by myself. I am now not afraid to mention no. I'm no longer afraid to arise for my very own dignity. I select up my phone and dials wide variety. What's up, woman? How changed into your day? It changed into thrilling. Came to go to me. And the way became it. One of a kind. Maybe there is wish in any case. I am glad. What are your plans for this afternoon? I was taking into consideration going to the park. Perhaps sitting and studying beneath that massive tree I like. Need some organization. I would really like it. As I am getting equipped to go out, I appearance in the hallway mirror. I see a 69-12 months antique woman who learned too late that her personal well-worth is not measured by using what she will be able to provide to others. A female who located the braveness to assert her life again. And for the primary time in a completely very long time, I smile.